Welcome dear students to video number 3 for standard 7 science. We are discussing chapter number 14. In the previous video we discussed what are elements. Let us continue with the next part, that is compounds. The substance formed by a chemical combination of two or more elements is a compound. I'll repeat. The substance formed by a chemical combination of two or more elements is a compound. My dear students, in the previous video we saw how matter is divided into pure and impure substances. Under pure substances, we saw there were two types, elements and compounds. In elements, all the atoms were made up of the same constituent. In compounds, it is a chemical combination of two or more elements. Hence, the smallest particle of a compound is a molecule. Again, over here, the molecule has two or more different constituents. Hence, it is a compound. A substance is a compound only if its molecules are made up of atoms of different types. Always remember, different types. If the atoms are made of same type, then it becomes an element. And if the atoms are of same different type, then it becomes a molecule. So I'll repeat, a substance is a compound only if its molecules are made up of atoms of different types. For example, water. Water is a compound. One molecule of water is made up of two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen. Water molecule looks something like this. So we have two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen, and it makes up a molecule of water. Hydrogen is a combustible substance, that is, it burns. Oxygen helps combustion. But water, which is formed by a combination of hydrogen and oxygen, is used to extinguish fire. In other words, the properties of a compound are different from those of the constituent elements. Always remember this. That means properties of compound need not be similar to properties of its elements. Here they have explained with the help of water. Hydrogen itself is combustible, means it burns, and oxygen helps in burning. But water we use to extinguish fire. That means element hydrogen and its properties, element oxygen and its properties is completely different from its compound water. Like an element, a compound is also written in an abridged form. A molecule of a compound is formed by a chemical combination of atoms of two or more elements. Therefore, a molecular formula is used to represent a compound. We saw that elements are represented by symbols. Similarly, compounds are represented by something known as molecular formula. A molecular formula of a compound is a short form of its name written with the help of symbols of constituent elements and the number of respective atoms. An example is shown over here. We have two atoms of hydrogen. These are the two atoms, and it is written by symbol for hydrogen and the number of atoms 2. And one atom of oxygen. This is one atom of oxygen. It is written by symbol of oxygen, and we don't write one atom, so we just leave it This is understood, that means it is 1. They combine to give one molecule of water. So it looks something like this. And we combine this both and we write the molecular formula for compound water as H2O. You are going to study how to write molecular formula in higher standards. This is just an example, like extra information for you. Now there's a small how to differentiate between atom and molecule. So atom is the smallest particle of an element. Molecule is the smallest particle of a compound. An atom may or may not exist independently. For example, hydrogen, it exists independently, but oxygen, it does not. So we see oxygen as O2. Molecule always exists independently. Atom may or may not have properties of matter. This we will discuss later. Molecule always possesses properties of matter. Now, molecules are composed of atoms. Molecules are made of, when atoms come together, molecules are made. And atoms again come together to form molecules. Example over here is hydrogen, oxygen in atoms. An example of molecule is, just now we discussed, water, and this is NO2, nitrous oxide. The next, my dear students, what we are going to study are mixtures. In the previous video, in the first video, we saw what are mixtures. When we prepare, now this is example. When we prepare bhel, you must have eaten bhel or you must have made sharbat at home. Does the taste of original ingredients change in its making? Means, take the example of bhel. When you're eating bhel, after making the bhel, do you get something new or is it the same? What all are there inside bhel? There's puffed rice, there's some save, there's some chana, and there's some different ingredients, but when you're eating it, it tastes, puffed rice tastes as puffed rice, the save tastes like save, the chana tastes like chana. So original ingredients do not change in the making. Same way for the sharbat. When you're when you're tasting the sharbat, you get the sweetness of sugar. You get the flavor, suppose it's made of rose, you get the flavor of rose. And you can drink it because there's water in it. A mixture is formed by mixing different elements or compounds. So what is a mixture? Mixture is formed by mixing there are different elements and compounds mixed in it. For example, air. Air is also a mixture. Air is a mixture of various gases. So these gases are mixed in the form of some elements are mixed and some compounds are mixed. For example, oxygen is present in air. So oxygen is an element. Carbon dioxide is present in air. Carbon dioxide becomes a compound because it is made up of carbon and oxygen. The proportion of various components in a mixture is not fixed. So how can we explain this? When we prepare bhel, do we say that the quantity of puffed rice has to be universally fixed, say 1 cup, and the quantity of save has to be universally fixed, say half a cup? No, it depends on person to person. Someone likes something more, someone likes something less. This is just an example of a bale. There are so many others. You see example of air. Sometimes the amount of oxygen goes up, the amount of carbon dioxide goes up. It depends. So in mixtures, the various components do not have a fixed proportion. No chemical change takes place during the formation of mixtures and no new substance is formed. Always remember this. No chemical change takes place. Hence, since there is no chemical change, no new substance is formed. Bale, when we mix and we get, we can still separate out and say that this is bale. There are different constituents, but no new substance is formed. You don't get something completely new. Again, in sharbat, when you make sharbat, you don't get something completely new. It is still flavored water, sweet flavored water. Examples of mixtures. These are various examples of mixtures. There's coffee, these are M&Ms, these are jelly beans, then some dry fruit, some food. So all these are examples of mixtures. All these properties are applicable to this. So we get these by mixing different elements, compounds. The proportion is not fixed and no new substance is formed, no chemical change takes place. So that is about mixtures. You might remember that mixing unwanted substances in any foodstuff is called adulteration. In other words, an adulterated foodstuff is also a kind of mixture. When an unwanted or harmful substance is mixed with another substance, the resulting mixture no longer remains useful. In such cases, we separate the unwanted ingredients from the mixture. Sometimes we get uh, things from the market, so say rice. We get rice from the market, and there are some stones or dirt or something mixed in it. So then we cannot use that rice just like that. It becomes harmful. It's not good if we ingest those things. So we have to clean it and we have to separate or remove the unwanted ingredients from that mixture. For this purpose, simple and easy methods such as straining, filtering, sifting, picking, sorting, winnowing, combing with a magnet, and sublimation are used. These are different methods of separation used for separating mixtures. So, what are these? Straining, sifting, picking, sorting, winnowing, combing with a magnet, and sublimation. Depending upon the type of mixture, the method of separation is used. We have learnt about the properties of matter and the effects of heat. These properties are also used for separating the components of mixture. So sometimes properties of matter and effects of heat are also applicable for separating the components of mixture. We are going to study a few in the next video. But before that, let's look at this. This is a nice picture given in your textbook, and you are asked to identify the method of separation used. Let's look at the first one, this one. This lady is doing something. She's separating the hay particles from the grains. And this method of separation is known as, I'm so sorry, the first one is this. So this person is picking up stones or dirt particles from grains. So this method is known as picking. Then this lady is separating hay particles from grains. This method is known as winnowing. Then this person is removing, let's say, something from liquid water. And this method we use it for making, or for when we drink tea we use this method. So this method is known as straining. Then here a person is making butter, so separating fat from liquid buttermilk. So this method is known as churning. And the last one, this person is doing something so that he gets proper powdered. Say we do it for flour. When we make chapati, we do this. This is called as sifting. So these are a few methods of separating mixtures. All these are mixtures which are used. We are going to study a few in the next video. Till then, please read your textbook and thank you for watching. Have a nice day.